This is how Shin Young starts working at full speed, delivering orders and attending to customers. Meanwhile, Yo Yoon calls his boss, and when she answers, he asks how she is doing. She, lying in a hospital bed, responds that it's nothing serious and that she's only there with intravenous fluids because she was overworked. However, she also thinks she drank too much last night while watching a drama, which makes Yo Yoon laugh. Then, his boss asks him what's going on with work, whether he thinks he can handle it on his own, and if he needs an assistant. The young man thinks for a moment, and looking at his coworker, he replies that Shin Young said she would stay to help him that afternoon. Hearing that, his boss asks if that means she's working 2 shifts in a row. The young man replies that yes, but he notes that she's just a student on vacation who does nothing during the day, so he considers it fine as long as she gets paid extra. His boss reflects that it must be exhausting, but has no problem with it. So she asks her to do everything she can and tells him to close early today, since she will be at the hospital for more tests, and then will leave. Yo Yoon understands and asks her to get some rest, thus ending the call. Right away, he thinks about how happy he is knowing that she's okay. Then he walks over to Shin Young and calls her. Upon hearing him, she asks what the boss said. He replies that the boss said she can work because she will pay her extra and also advised her not to overwork. Additionally, he asks her to work with him today, since there will be many customers in the afternoon, and it won't be easy. She, full of youthful energy, tells him not to worry because she is strong. Yo Yoon thanks her for her help and then thinks about how lucky he is, knowing that she is a smart person and won't be clumsy at work. Then he tells her that he will now take out the trash bins and receive some orders, to which she nods in understanding. But before he leaves, she comments that she has heard about him. She heard from the boss that he is in his 4th year of university, so she asks if he is older than her. She tells him not to hesitate to speak informally with her since she is 23 years old. He confirms that he will, and then asks if she can watch the counter for a minute since he has work to do. After taking out the trash, Yo Yoon thinks that Shin Young is a clingy person and that, despite having worked with her for just 1 day, she's already asking him to speak informally with her. He remembers that a certain person used to ask him how long he would stay with someone else, how often they met, or how frequently they saw each other. He wonders when he started measuring the continuity of a relationship and the distance between them. But then he returns to the present, setting that simple memory aside. So when he returns to the cafe, Shin Young informs him that they are in trouble. This leaves the young man confused at first, but the girl explains that they have an order for 15 drinks and sandwiches and that she needs help. Seeing the order, the young man is astonished and wonders if it's really for 15 people at this hour. Shin Young confirms and adds that everyone ordered different drinks, which is driving her crazy. Then, Yo Yoon asks her to prepare the drinks while he takes care of the sandwiches. The young man wonders why things got complicated at that moment, but still, he looks at Shin Young and reflects that he is glad she stayed. He was worried that she had only worked there for 2 months, but he concludes that she is very good at her job and responsible, so he can trust her. However, she says that the blender isn't working, which complicates the order even more. At the end of the day, Yo Yoon comments that it has been a tough shift and that the number of customers in the store has increased as the days get longer. For her part, Shin Young asks if she can leave first and offers to help him with the final touches. He replies that it's okay and mentions that the boss doesn't want to pay for a taxi, so he asks her to leave early. However, the girl replies that she doesn't need a taxi since she lives across from the building. This surprises the boy, and she bids him goodbye, saying they will see each other tomorrow. He does the same and asks her to get home safely. As she leaves, he watches her and then begins preparing to close, making sure he can handle the returns by himself. However, he stops and reflects on something important. He wonders how old Miss Hayen is since he has never asked her age. He admits that he has no problem talking to her without knowing, but still, he feels curious. Already at the station, Hain answers that she is 39 years old. This leaves the boy completely silent and somewhat puzzled, until he asks if she is lying again, since the expression on her face when she answered clearly gave away a lie. However, she asks if he really didn't believe that she is 39. Yo-yoon responds that no, he's just surprised because if it's true, a long time has passed. That's when he asks again how old she really is and if it's a secret. Hae-in responds that it's not a secret and questions why he suddenly feels curious about it, also asking if he is investigating her to see if she's suspicious. He replies that it's not like that, but she insists on knowing why he is curious and adds that she doesn't know his age either, and that in reality, it doesn't matter. The young man looks at her for a few seconds before admitting that she is right, that it's not important, and that he was asking the wrong question. But Hae-in, seeing his expression, feels that something is not right and wonders if she was too harsh on him, as she only wanted to tease him a little. So she tells him that she will reveal her age, but first he must promise her something. From now on, when he calls her by her name, he must continue referring to her as Miss. This leaves the young man confused, and he then asks if she hid her age just so he would keep calling her that, as he thought it would be awkward. However, Hae-in explains that she likes being called that way because it makes her feel like she is treated as an adult. He, looking at her a little longer, jokingly asks if she likes that kind of role-playing. But she quickly responds that it is not like that. She confesses that she simply enjoys it when he calls her Miss Hae-in, and although she finds it a bit strange, she likes it. Yo-yoon, upon hearing that, tells her that from now on, he will call her that, as it is not that difficult. Immediately, he asks again how old she is, and if she is the same age as him. Then she replies that she is 21 years old. At that moment, it is revealed to us that Lee Yo-yoon is 25 years old. He thinks this is ridiculous. He believes that she is already a professional and argues that, to have finished university, she must have been at least 22 years old, so he does not understand how she can be that age. That is when Hae-in reveals that she never went to university, that she simply got a job as soon as she came of age. She adds that if he does not believe her, she can show him her ID. This leaves him puzzled, remembering that in a previous conversation, she mentioned something about him still being in university. Hae-in explains that she said that because she started working first while he was still studying, so technically, she was not lying. Yo-yoon also comments on how strange he finds it that she is so young and yet has such skill in preparing whiskey bombs. To which she responds that she learned it from her uncle. Just at that moment, the train begins to arrive. Hae-in, leaning on Yo-yoon's shoulder, tells him that, anyway, he just made a promise and that it will not change the way he must call her from now on. Then she asks if he agrees, calling him Uncle Yo-yoon. This makes him laugh nervously, but he thinks that she speaks like an adult with many years of experience. He thought she would be older than him, or that maybe they would be the same age, but it turns out that she is a fox, meaning a sly, cunning, and sneaky person. And with that, we've reached the end of this week's chapter. If you made it all the way to the end, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this chapter in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so our community can keep growing and we can reach more fans like you. See you in the next video. In the meantime, if you're from the near future, I'll leave you the next chapter and a comic you're sure to enjoy. Thank you for being part of this adventure.